Okay, so we've just taken our brainstorming and organized it a bit to create our argument with 2 reasons to support our thesis. And our thesis is smoking should be banned in public spaces because the sight of smokers in public is a negative influence on youth, and public smoking is a pollutant. And we'll argue about these reasons using examples, details, statistics, facts, explanations, anecdotes, maybe even a quote, in our body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, as we do for every essay. But what about that body paragraph 3 with the strange counter-argument and refutation? Who remembers what a counter-argument is? A counter-argument is the argument formed against the thesis. It's the argument formed by the other side. And you only need 2 to 3 sentences for the counter-argument. You want to keep it short. You don't want to give a long time creating a big, rich, long argument for the opposite side of you and your opinion and your thesis. No, keep it short and simple and sweet. Just a few sentences, 2 to 3 sentences. 1 sentence is not enough, but 4 or 5 sentences is too long. You don't want to write a long counter-argument. So we'll go back over to our brainstorming. And now you see why, when we think of an argument, we're going to spend time brainstorming for both sides. Because now we can easily pick out a counter-argument. So the con people who are against the ban say that the ban limits personal freedom, government should not try to control people's personal choices, people can make their own decisions, if people don't like it, go somewhere else, right? Let's see if we can use any of that. So I'm going to actually put my counter argument right here. And I'm going to use a fun word here. Opponents. What's an opponent? Opponent is somebody against something. The person with the opposite opinion. And notice here we mean opponents of the smoking ban. Opponents of what's in your thesis. So opponents of you, okay? So opponents of a smoking ban might say, okay, and that's what you can use. You can say, people who are against a smoking ban might say, those who disagree with a smoking ban might say, just modeling some language for you. Opponents of a smoking ban might say that it limits personal freedom. Okay? And notice, I'm not using a thirdly here. I'm not using a lastly. I'm not using a finally. Why? Because this is not a third reason. This is not a final reason. Now, we're not using a regular topic sentence. We're introducing the counter-argument by bringing up the idea that there are people who disagree. So you're going to follow that same model in your counter-argument, and we're going to see a lot of examples of counter-arguments so that you have some language that you have in your pocket to use. Opponents of a smoking ban might say that it limits personal freedom. They believe that it should be an individual's choice whether to smoke or not, and that the government should not be so involved in people's lives. Okay, so remember, we only want 2 to 3 sentences for the counter argument. I already have 2. That's enough. Let's see, and Grammarly doesn't like that comma, so I'm going to get rid of it. So the counter argument. People who disagree with a smoking ban, or opponents of a smoking ban might say that it limits personal freedom. They believe that it should be an individual's choice whether to smoke or not, smoke in public or not, and that the government should not be so involved in people's lives. And then we're going to give the other side a little respect. This point has some merit. That means that this point isn't 100% bad. Okay, it's a free country. The United States claims to be a free country. The government shouldn't be so involved in people's lives, right? So we say this point has some merit, meaning this point is a little bit good. This point isn't stupid. The other side isn't stupid. We respect them. We value their opinion. However, I'm right. Listen to me. I'm right. Okay? So this point has some merit. And there I've got 3 sentences. However, now you want a transition word. So you want a however, or you want an on the other hand. On, can't see the spaces so well here. On the other hand, and here's a great place to use an on the other hand. Personal freedom is not more important than public health. Smoking is such a well-known menace to public health that I'll put a ban is very appropriate. It protects Okay, I'm not going to write the whole refutation here. We're going to see a lot of model refutations. But what I want you to see here is the beginnings of an argumentative paragraph, body paragraph 3, with the counter argument and the refutation. So the counter argument is here, and I'm going to highlight that for you. And yeah, didn't mean to do that. Let's make that black again. Okay, here we go. I'm going to highlight that for you in yellow. Counter argument, okay? And then we have our transition. And you want to have a transition also. Okay? And then we start the refutation. And the refutation should be maybe 6, 7 sentences long, right? Because if your counter argument is 2 to 3 sentences, then you need 6 or 7 sentences to get your 8 to 10 sentence paragraph, okay? You want the transition word there, however, comma, on the other hand, comma, to let the reader know that you're changing directions away from the counter argument. So here we've got our counter argument, we've got a transition word, and we've started our refutation. I'm not going to take the time to write the whole thing because these videos are already getting very long. But what you see here now is the basics, a basic outline for an argumentative essay. And usually when students brainstorm, I would say to brainstorm a couple of points for the refutation. Also, after you've decided what you want to use as the counter argument. Some questions students often have is, can I repeat anything that I've said in my reasons in body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2 in the counter argument? In the refutation, not in the counter argument. But the answer is yes. So if you can think of something completely new to say in the refutation, that's great. Say it. Remember, you're arguing against the counter argument. So you want it to directly go against the counter argument, whatever you say. Sometimes you'll have to repeat something that you maybe said in body 1 or body 2 in order to go against the counter argument. It depends on the topic. So you can maybe use an idea in new words, or you can have something totally different. Just remember, you're always thinking back to supporting the thesis. So whatever you're saying supports the thesis, okay? And then you go on to your conclusion, which is once again a restatement of your thesis. You don't need to restate the counter argument in your conclusion. You just need to restate your thesis, because your thesis is your argument. That's more important than the counter argument. So no, you do not need to repeat the counter argument in your little summary. And then you go into your final thought. And final thoughts for argument essays are often easy because they're a suggestion. If you listen to me, if you listen to my thesis, the world will be a better place. So you'll think of something related perhaps to your thesis, that if the government were to ban smoking, we would see a great improvement in the issues of public smoking and pollution right away, or something like that, whatever you want to say. Okay, so I'm going to finish up here, and we're going to spend a lot of time working on this and looking at the book as well as other handouts and working towards writing our first essay. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.